All right, so in order to prepare for some of the movements that we're going to do, we're going to actually start in a seated form, and that can be a seated form of any variety. We'll be headed into a cat-cow like style after this, and so it can be nice if it's comfortable to you to sit on your heels. That'll set you up nicely, but it really won't be much work to otherwise accommodate. So you might let your hands rest on your thighs, soften your shoulders down from your ears. Take a couple moments to notice your breath as it already is within your body. And if it seems like it would feel nice, you might begin to deepen your breath, lengthening your inhale, lengthening your exhale. Let's do a couple more deep breaths. You can let your breath return to perhaps a more natural cadence with awareness of it. And perhaps at the start of this practice, there's an intention you'd like to bring into it with you. I like to offer embodying openness, embodying non-judgment, maybe a commitment to observe and be responsive throughout. And on your next inhale, let's sweep arms out and up. Palms can touch gently overhead. Exhale, let's lower the right fingertips, lean over that direction, reaching out of the left fingers. Inhale through center. Exhale, going the other direction. Inhale through center. Exhale, we're going to come over to hands and knees. Start by gripping into your fingers. You can curl your toes under. And we're going to pulse forward, shoulders past wrists, and then come back. And see how much of this movement you can control with your hands. Maybe your body is just kind of like following the force that you press into your fingertips. Perhaps on your way back, you stretch into your feet a little bit if your toes are curled under. The next time you come forward, really round through your back. Find some wiggles of your tail. Let your head hang heavy. And then we'll turn the hands to face outward. Again, grip into the fingers. This time we're going to do some figure eights with the shoulders. Being gentle, but also being exploratory. And then reverse the direction. It's a little bit tricky sometimes. And then go ahead, return your hands through neutral. Slide them forward just a bit. Let's do 2 rounds of cat-cow. Warming up through the spinal column. And you can curl your toes under. On your next exhale, come into a crouchy down dog. Knees are very bent. Take a moment to maybe gently rebound through the shoulders, finding some pulsation perhaps. And then straighten your legs any amount. First downward facing dog of the day. On an inhale, let's reach the right leg high. Exhale, step that foot forward. Lower your left knee, inhale. Exhale, left foot forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to let it go. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, right foot steps back, lower that knee, inhale, chest chin up. And then exhale, left foot steps back. Take a moment in your plank form. Press the mat away, rock on your toes. Again, finding shoulders forward and then back. And then let's lower knees, come back into a child's form. Look toward the front edge of your mat and then ripple through, finding your cobra. Elbows can be bent here. That might feel nicer at the start. Keep pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing the pelvis down, and exhale, release. Come up and back to that crouchy downward facing dog. Straighten through your legs, left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it through, lower your right knee, inhale. Exhale, step it through, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold it through. Hands on the mat, left foot steps back, lower that knee, inhale. Exhale, right foot steps back, plank form. We can again find those front to back rocks. Keep pressing the mat away, feel the roundness through the back of your shoulders. And lower your knees, child's form. Gaze to the front of the mat, ripple through. Finding your cobra, or if you'd like, sliding your hands back a little bit and pressing into the feet to lift your knees up into an upward facing dog. We'll all come back to a crouchy down dog. Knees bent. Knees bent, and this time we're gonna hop forward. That hop can be high, it can be low, there can be multiple or one. Use your exhale. Transport yourself to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, fold it through. Inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, fold forward and pause for a moment. We're gonna crawl our hands toward the outer edge of the right foot and bend that knee a little bit extra while working on straightening the left leg a little extra. You might feel this in your outer left hip, IT band area. Gently release, go to the other side. This time you'll be a little more straight through your right leg and a little more bent through your left leg. And release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full plant your hands. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider than your hands. We're gonna hop back, but we might take a couple hops more or less straight up first. So press into your hands, gaze between your thumbs, rock your shoulders past your wrists, pressing down into the mat, similar to how you would in your plank, your shoulders round just the same way. Bend your knees on the inhale. Maybe they make contact with your torso, and you might try to keep that contact as you exhale, heel kick. You might try it a couple times. It can be fun. We'll eventually hop back to downward dog. This time from the downward dog, ripple forward, plank. Lower the knees, send your hips back, child's form. Inhale, come through for your cobra or upward facing. And then find your crouchy down dog. All right, one more just like that. So on your exhale, hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise tall. This time overhead, catch your left wrist with your right fingers. Pull over to the right. Inhale, come through center. Switch your grip. And exhale, go to the left. Inhale through center and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant your hands, move your feet a little bit wide. We're gonna do those hops again. So press into the hands, gaze between the thumbs, come up onto your tiptoes, bend your knees, and heel kick. And you might do a couple. Think of slowing down, of making it a lighter movement, and see what happens. Eventually we'll hop back to a down dog, ripple forward plank, lower the knees, child's form, pull it through upward facing. And find your way back, crouchy down dog. Final hop to the front edge of the mat. And inhale, rise all the way up. Bring your hands down through heart center, maybe just noticing your elevated heart rate, your elevated temperature, anything that's changed since you stepped onto your mat. And then from here, we'll bring hands to hips and root down through the feet. Firm up through your legs and take a moment to move your hips gently forward while moving your heart up, finding your first standing back bend of the practice. On an inhale, inflate to lift, reach your arms tall. Exhale, we're gonna fold all the way forward. These fingers might grab big toes, or you might go into another variation of a forward fold. Perhaps lengthening to look forward and then exhaling to hinge at the hips. Notice what happens to your breath in these moments of stillness, these moments that are a little less active. On your next inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up, and then exhale your hands down through heart center. Shift your weight into your right foot. From here, we're gonna pendulum forward. Keep your left toes flexed. Try to think of being one long line from your left heel through the crown of your head, finding your warrior three. You might reach your hands forward if you want to add a little core work here. Think of your low belly pulling away from your front thigh. And then lower your left toes toward the middle of the mat. So it's kind of this squatty, weird position. If you feel awkward, you're doing it right. And bring your hands forward as you shift back, lowering your hips, lowering into your left foot, maybe hovering the right foot up. If the right foot can't lift off the mat, that's fine. Work on pressing into your left foot and lifting through the right. Even if it's not lifting, it's the same muscles that are happening. We're all gonna lower the right heel if it's not lowered already, and crawl our way into a low lunge. Inhale to lift your torso, maybe lift your arms. Exhale, we're gonna fold down, plant the hands, and send the right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Looking at your back foot, hop it forward about a footprint, and then bend your right leg. Really root down through your right hand, and maybe you begin to work your left hand back, tenting it outside of the left foot. Maybe you catch your right foot and then work on kicking that foot up. And it's tricky. There's a lot of balance going on here, a lot of different forces at play. Think of squaring your shoulders and your hips. That might help find some stability. We can release the left hand down to the mat, Rock forward into a plank, bringing your right knee toward your right elbow. Suck it up as high as you can toward your armpit, and then lower that knee to the mat. From here, we can kickstand the right foot back, left foot lowers, and inhale, bring your left arm up. Take a moment here, maybe stretching the left hand forward, really rooting down on the outer left foot to get some side body length. It can feel nice here to bring your left hand to the back of your head and create some resistance between head and hand, hand and head. Wherever you are, let's bring the left hand back. Set up for your plank, suck your right knee back up, and step back. Downward facing form. Option to take a vinyasa, to skip a vinyasa, to find some other shape. And we'll ultimately want to end up back at the front edge of the mat. So maybe taking a hop, maybe taking a step. We'll rise all the way up. Go ahead and return hands to hips. We'll do our second standing back bend. Pressing into your feet, firming up through your legs. Let your hips lead. Your heart can lift from there. You can keep your chin tucked, or you can draw your chin back. We'll all inhale to lift up and out. And exhale, fold it forward. Potentially sliding palms beneath feet, grabbing the toes or otherwise settling into whatever variation of a forward fold fits you best in this moment. On your next inhale, gently lengthen your spine to look forward, maybe releasing the bind if you have one. Exhale, release fully. And then inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands through heart center. Shift your weight to your left foot. Again, we're going to do that pendulum. So think of one long line of energy. This time from your right heel through the crown of your head. Take a moment in your warrior, maybe reaching forward if you want. And then lower the right toes to the middle of the mat, finding that weird squatty position. Hands come forward as you lower your hips, shifting into the right foot, maybe hovering the left heel. Lower the left heel if it's lifted. Crawl your way into a low lunge, and you might have to readjust the distance of your legs to make that happen. Use your exhale to plant your hands and kick your left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Hop your right foot forward a footprint. This time we're really rooting down through the left hand. Right fingers might tent outside of the right foot, or we might bend the left leg and bind the foot with the right hand, and then try to re-square the hips. Re-square the shoulders. Gently release. Hop the foot back, come forward to a plank, bring your left knee towards your left arm. Suck it up high and lower it to your mat. Kickstand that leg out, lower onto your right foot. Keep your left hand planted, bring your right arm up, side stretch. If you brought your hand to the back of your head last time, you might do so again here. And gently release. Right hand comes down. Set up for that plank again. Again, suck the left knee up. And then find your way back, maybe moving through a vinyasa. All right, now from here, we're going to do that last little section again, but with a couple variations. So we'll start by lifting the right leg high. Exhale, knee toward right, armpit or elbow. Lower that knee down, kickstand it out to the side. Come onto your left foot. Inhale your left arm up. Find the side body stretch first. And then play with lifting your left leg up. Keep reaching out of the left heel. Keep reaching out of the left hand. Get light on your right fingers. And maybe play with lifting the right hand up too. And if you lower anything, that's fine, but think of it as like a tap. Like you're just gonna tap and lift up again. There's no collapsing here. It's really active. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your left foot, lower your right hand. Let's come all the way back up into a gate pose. So landing above that right knee, torso upright. And you might scoot your hips down and to the right so they're a little more level and square. And then crawl your left hand down your left leg, right arm reaches up and over. Next inhale lifts you back up. And we're gonna go all the way down to the mat with our right forearm. And then from here, reach over with the left hand, maybe finding some length. And then come back up to that gate. So we keep pulsing between these two places. And there's an option to float the hands. So that we're like leaning really far down, but we're floating above. And then we're lifting and leaning and floating. And the hands kind of move like ballerina style here. The next time that you're balanced out, come back up through center, reach your arms tall. And exhale, cartwheel the hands out to the front of the mat. Suck your right knee up toward your armpit and step it back, downward facing. Option to take a vinyasa, to modify a vinyasa, to skip a vinyasa. On your next inhale, left leg lifts up. Exhale, knee toward left, armpit or elbow. Lower that knee down. Kickstand the foot out, lower the right foot, and reach your right arm up. So take a moment to find the stretch. And then we know we're gonna work on floating. So you might already tend to your left hand. Start to reach the right leg up. Think of how can we contract on the right side of the body instead of the left here? Maybe float your left fingers. Again, it's okay if things touch down, but try to make it a tap and not a collapse. Might hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, take a moment to come all the way up into standard gate form, torso upright, hips square and level. Right hand can crawl down your right leg as you reach over with your left arm. And then we'll go out the other way, lowering maybe even onto the left elbow as you reach over with the right hand and back up. And finding this pulsation, if you floated the arms, the ballerina arms last time, perhaps you find that again this time. The next time that you're balanced out, go ahead and come back up through center and reach your arms tall. Cartwheel them up onto the mat. Square up to the front edge, left knee to left elbow, and step it back. Let's all lower our knees down. Keep your hips above your knees. Crawl your hands forward. Melt the forehead, the heart, potentially the chin, down toward the mat in puppy form. Couple more breaths here. Press down through your hands, straighten through your arms. Tuck your chin as you roll forward, lowering your pelvis to the mat, finding the seal form. And then gently release down. You can make a cushion of your hands for your forehead if that feels nice. We're going to let the torso relax for a moment. Press into the tops of the feet, press into the pelvis. Think of lengthening through your low back. It's a slight tuck of the tail. It's a little counterintuitive here. And then lift your legs any amount and lower. Lift and lower. Draw your legs more toward each other. Lift and lower. Last one, lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Melt your legs to the mat, wiggle your hips. All right, let's add in the torso. So press into the tops of the feet, press into the pelvis. Find that slight tuck of the tail. Feel your low belly lift away from the mat. We're gonna lift just the torso, letting the hands hover out to the sides and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Last one will be a hold. Lift, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Melt down to the mat, wiggle out the hips. All right, we're gonna link that all together. So press into the tops of the feet, press into the pelvis, tuck the tail, lift the low belly up. On your inhale, lift your torso. On your exhale, lift your legs. Your hands can reach back, they can reach forward, they can reach up. Find even contraction as much as you can. And on your exhale, melt down to the mat. Reach your right arm out to the right and roll toward it. Finding a shoulder stretch. Gently release out and we'll go straight to the other side. Gently release back to your belly. We're going to do one more back bend here. This time we're going to have the option to bend the heels in and reach back to grab the feet. We're going to do it 2 times. You can grab the feet or the ankles. Some people like to flex their toes over the hand. Think of kicking the feet into the hands. You might rock a little bit. Let your legs drop toward one another. Let your heart lift. And gently melt down. You might wiggle the legs side to side. Right, this last one works our shoulders slightly different. So we're going to reach back and we're going to grab the inside edge of the feet. So thumbs are pointing up. And grab the arch. That kind of feels like a good handle. Keep your knees drawn toward each other, feet drawn toward each other. And then again, kick. And notice how this one feels. It might feel a little different. You can rock or find stillness. Gently release. Let everything wiggle out or find stillness, whatever seems best in your body at this moment. And then we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog. All right, let's go ahead and lift the right leg up. From here, we're going to take hops to the front edge of the mat with your left foot. So you can kind of swing your right leg and make these bigger hops, or you can do lots of little hops, whatever you prefer. If you're swinging your leg, gaze toward your hands so that you're in that handstand prep place. Once your left foot is at the front edge of your mat, come up onto tented fingers, and we're gonna kick the right leg out to the right, finding like a 90 degree with the legs. And lower that foot down next to the left. Slide your left foot back. Left hand inside of the right foot. Let's inhale, reach your right arm up. On the exhale, bring both hands down. Your left knee is going to lower. And we're going to kick the left shin kind of behind us and free the right leg. So we're in a little shape like this. Left leg is kickstand, left hand is down, right leg is lifted. Grab the foot, and then find a kick of your foot into your hand. You maybe will feel this as a stretch in your hip flexor or your quad. The more you draw your heel toward your bum, the higher up your leg you're going to feel that. So you can find whatever works for you. Let's gently release. Look toward the front of the mat, step your right foot toward the front edge. And we're going to frame out the front foot and lift the back knee and turn the back foot at about a 45-degree angle. The right hand can plant outside of the right foot, inside of it, or on the shin. And then think of squaring your hips forward as you lift your left arm up, triangle form. Draw your chin back, make sure it's not jutting out in front of you. And on an exhale, release hands down, step back, downward facing dog. All right, this time inhale, right leg stays down, left leg lifts. And again, we're gonna hop to the front edge. So these hops can be big. You can swing the top leg. Once the foot has landed at the front edge of the mat, hit your fingers and kick your left leg out to the left. Exhale, step it down. Slide the right foot back. Right hand inside of left foot, inhale, open twist to the left. And let's lower the right knee. So again, we're gonna kickstand the right leg and just hover the left leg up, getting it out of the way. Right hand is planted. Left hand will catch the top of the left foot, and we'll find that kick. So it's kind of like a half bow. Ardha Dhanurasana. But upward, so I don't know what that would be exactly, but let's gently release. Left foot steps toward the right hand as we pivot on the back knee. Frame out the front foot And set up the back foot for triangle. This time it's the left hand that stays lowered and the right arm that opens up. Think of keeping length on both sides of your body at this point, on your right ribs and your left ribs. And on an exhale, gently release down. Plant your hands and step it back, downward facing. All right, we're doing that same thing, but with a couple variations, once more per side. So right leg lifts, find some hops to the front edge with your left foot. Kick the right leg out to the right once you've landed and step it down. Slide the left foot back, left hand inside of your right foot. Inhale to open twist. All right, so we have options here. Option one is going to be to lower the left knee, kickstand, grab the top of the right foot, just like we did last time. Option two is a little bit trickier. We're going to keep the left knee lifted, come to the outer edge of that foot. Still grab the top of the right foot, whoop, as I fall. We really have to lift through the hips here to make this doable, and then kick it behind you from a side plank. And gently release right foot to the front edge of the mat wherever you are. Set up your back foot for a triangle. This time we're going to keep the left fingertips lowered and twist to the right, finding our revolved triangle. Think of scooping your right hip back and toward the midline of your body. Exhale to release, right hand down. Step it back, downward facing dog. All right, guys, last hops forward. Left leg is lifted. We're hopping with the right. Once you arrive, left leg kicks out to the left and then lowers. Right foot slides back, right hand inside of the left foot, open twist. Option here to lower the right knee, kickstand, and bind the left foot. Or to work on that plank variation, where the outer right foot lowers, and then you try to find your left foot behind you and kick into it. Bring your left foot to the front edge of your mat as you feel ready. Back foot set up for triangle. We're revolving it this time, so think of scooping the left hip back and under. Right hand or finger stay planted, left arm opens to a twist. Exhale to release. Step it back. Lower your knees. Come to your heels. We're going to take a seat for just a couple breaths. Just a chance to check in with yourself. We're moving through our final set, so we're going to have some longer holds, some juicier forms. So as you feel ready, crawl your way back forward and find a plank. We're going to roll to the outer left foot. Right arm reaches up, side plank. Option to lift and lower the hips twice. And then as you feel ready, this right knee bends and steps toward the front edge of your mat. From here, lower your left knee and heel toe the right foot so it's a little off to the side. Both hands can comfortably be inside of it. From here, we're gonna find the alignment that allows us to have hips over knee and right leg straight. So we can rock the hips forward and bend, and then exhale, rock back and straighten. Inhale the bend. Exhale to straighten. Take a moment to notice if it feels good pulsing between the two, or if perhaps one of the variations feels better, straightened or bent. You're welcome to find stillness in either. You can always move the front foot forward a bit more too. Finding a little bit more towards splits. And another option is to keep your left hand planted and bend your back leg. Reaching back with your right hand to capture that foot. Thinking of drawing the right heel back and the left knee forward, so it's very active here. Gently release wherever you are. Bring your right heel back in and gently heel toe it across your mat, setting yourself up for a pigeon form. You might take a moment in active pigeon with the back knee lifted, the pelvis lifted, or you might lower that back knee but keep the torso upright. We've been doing lots of binds today, and I don't normally cue a bind in pigeon, but I'm going to offer one. Keep in mind, it's not a better option than any other option. It's just something that we're maybe more warm towards, so I want to throw it out there. For the bind, we're going to have a pretty active base. So not like sinking as low as you can yet. You can decide if you'd want to reach back with your right hand or your left hand. It might feel better, one or the other. And you have to keep really drawing right knee back, left knee forward to keep your pelvis lifted, to keep yourself protected as you find the double bind. If you keep one hand forward, you can kind of lean some weight into that hand. And know you can always try an option and then go into another form. Staying upright might be a little more energizing, and maybe that feels really pleasant in your body. Compressing downward might be more grounding, and that might feel more helpful to what your body needs right now. We're here for a moment, so allow your breath to become your point of focus. You can begin to gently work your way up. Knowing that we started in a plank form, so that's where you might head, but it's fine to take other things along the way. As you feel ready, we're going to set up for our right side plank. So right hand beneath the nose, roll to the outer right foot, left arm lifts. Option to lower the hips and lift them twice. The left leg will bend and step toward the front hand. Both hands can come inside of that foot as that foot goes a little bit wider. And again, our alignment is that when the left toes are lifted, that leg is straightened, our hips are basically over the right knee. And we can go forward and back. Maybe syncing this up to our breath. I find that it feels nice to inhale forward and exhale backward, but that might be a different experience for your body. So honor whatever arises. And again, if it feels good to hold in one position or the other, feel free to do so. If you slid the foot forward a little bit last time and bent the back leg, you might do that again. Perhaps grabbing around with your left hand this time. Gently release wherever you are. Begin to drag your left heel in so that you can heel toe it across your mat, setting up for your pigeon form. Try to move through the same thing you did on the other side. And again, as you feel ready, you can work your way up, releasing out of this form. And to conclude tonight, one thing I want to offer, because I don't often, is a frog pose before we go to our backside. So if that sounds interesting to your body, you can align your ankles with your knees, bringing the inside edges of your feet to the mat, and lower onto your forearms, knowing that the more forward you go, the less sensation it might provoke, and the more you sink your hips back, the more sensation it might provoke. And this is a stay here as long as you like sort of thing. So that might mean one breath, that might mean the rest of class. If you're ready to ease out, you can always rock forward and then bring your knees in toward each other. We've done quite a bit of warming up for back bends, so it might feel of interest to you to find perhaps a bridge form, maybe progressing that into a wheel if that's something your body's interested in. If you are interested in the bridge, we can start with hands by sides, pressing the feet into the mat, lifting your hips, but pausing before you hit your real lift and retucking the tail, and then lifting and tucking, lifting and tucking, and finding in that way a bridge form that's maybe less intense on the low back. It might also feel of interest to bring your arms up overhead, hovering them above the mat. That can get this stretch into a little bit different part of your back. And you can always lift and lower a few different times, or if it sounds good to you, you might even plant your hands by your ears and lift up into a bridge form on your head, or lift your head into a wheel. If you do lift into a wheel, focus on reaching your heart through your arms. And if you reach a point where you're ready to start settling more fully into the final form of practice, you might explore some supine twists, some windshield wipers of the legs, maybe bringing your legs up a wall or onto some other object sounds nice. Whatever you settle into, let's close class as we started by bringing awareness to the breath. This time, instead of escalating, we can begin to loosen our hold on our breath. Allowing it to quiet. And here in this moment of stillness, there's some words I would like to share with you. When touched by our calling, it doesn't matter if we've been prepared or trained or certified, or if we've been delayed for years. What matters is if we can listen to our own unmitigated possibility within our whole being. In deep and unexpected ways, saying yes is a form of listening that brings who we are and what we experience into true meaning. Saying yes is the beginning of all flowering. I'll read that one more time. When touched by our calling, it doesn't matter if we've been prepared or trained or certified, or if we've been delayed for years. What matters is if we can listen to our own unmitigated possibility with our whole being. In deep and unexpected ways, saying yes is a form of listening that brings who we are and what we experience into true meaning. Saying yes is the beginning of all flowering. And that is Mark Nepo. So if it feels of service to you, you might take this final moment to see if there is something that's been tugging at you. Maybe it's something you've already said yes to, or maybe not. But this might be an opportunity to commit or recommit to allowing that thing to blossom. Independent of what certifications you have, independent of how logical it seems. Is there something that's been pulling at you? Is there a way that you can say yes? We can again begin to deepen the breath, that cue of movement about to happen. You might start with any movement or stretching or wiggling that feels good. And as you're ready, allow yourself to find any comfortable seat upon your mat. Use an inhale to lift your arms tall, hands touching overhead. Exhaling, hands down through heart center. Might we carry the strength, the softness, the movement, and the stillness that we cultivated here on the mat into all that we do. Might we pursue whatever we're pulled toward, independent of any other factors. And might we carry any other intentions that we might hold in our hearts with us. Namaste.